All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tearing down the massive gap between the everyday financial grind and, well, true wealth. Let's be honest, we all feel the squeeze, right? So we're going to explore some pretty groundbreaking ideas drawn from James Jani's viral documentary, The Untold Truth About Money, and MJ DeMarco's foundational book, The Billionaire Fastlane. If you've ever felt like the financial advice you've been force-fed just isn't adding up, you are definitely going to want to pay close attention to the frameworks we're breaking down today.
I want you to start by really questioning the traditional script we've all been sold. You know the exact one I mean. Study hard, get a stable job, save 10% of your paycheck, invest in a mutual fund, clip your coupons, and maybe, just maybe, retire comfortably at 65. But our source material points out a really harsh reality about this deferred life plan. Think about it. You're essentially trading 5 days of your prime, energetic work servitude in exchange for just 2 measly days of weekend freedom. By the time you actually reach the finish line of this plan, you might be too old or just too tired to even enjoy the money you've hoarded all those years.
The trap of that whole deferred life plan is what our sources call the slow lane, and it's entirely rooted in uncontrollable, limited leverage. Because your time is strictly capped at 24 hours a day, your earning potential is completely capped too. I mean, you literally cannot work 1,000 hours in a single week. The fast lane, on the other hand, is all about actively building systems to swap that out for controllable, unlimited leverage. Now, to be clear, it's absolutely not about getting rich easy, but it is about getting rich quicker by totally decoupling your income from your physical time.
Okay, Section 1. The illusion of the slow lane and the breaking point. To really understand this massive shift from hoping to building, we need to talk about James Jani's personal story. It is a perfect example of what happens when the traditional path totally fails you. It's crazy how rapidly James pivoted from a broke, failed actor to a wildly successful entrepreneur. He had built his entire identity around acting, but after failing to get into drama school, not once but twice, he came back from a gap year trip to Portugal completely out of money, literally at rock bottom. Out of sheer survival, he started selling his old video games on eBay just to buy food. But you know what? That tiny taste of real business sparked a huge fire. He leaned hard into entrepreneurship, eventually combined it with the storytelling skills, and built a massive channel that now averages over 2 million views a single month.
While reflecting on this crazy journey, James hit on a profound realization. He realized that throwing himself into learning new tasks and focusing entirely on delivering value was the actual secret to escaping the trap. Money isn't just something you can conjure out of thin air because you really want it. Money is attracted to people who fill needs. It's really just validation. Think of it as a receipt, basically, that you've provided tangible value to someone else.
Moving into Section 2, switching teams, the producer mindset shift. This brings us right to the critical psychological switch you have to make to build massive wealth from absolutely nothing. The crucial point here is that you have to stop looking at the world as a consumer and start observing it as a producer. Most of us go through life heavily conditioned to be consumers, right? We mindlessly scroll through feeds, click add to cart, and binge-watch content without a second thought. But to enter the fast lane, you've got to switch allegiances. Reshape life's focus on producing, not consuming. You literally need to become a producer first.
Wealthy individuals reverse engineer everyday transactions instead of just blindly spending their paychecks. When a producer sees an advertisement, they don't just buy the product. They immediately start asking, how does this company actually make money? What's their revenue model? Where are they sourcing materials? Instead of digging for gold, they're the ones selling the shovels. Instead of taking a class, they offer the class. They're constantly analyzing the business systems operating quietly behind the scenes of our everyday lives. You really have to accept a cold, hard truth here. The market does not care about your passions. It only cares if you can solve its problems. So many entrepreneurs completely fail because they build businesses around their own selfish desire to do what they love. But hey, consumers are selfish too. They're always asking, what's in it for me? To succeed, you have to completely surrender your own selfishness and focus purely on fixing a pain point, filling a service gap, or just making someone's life easier.
Section 3. The math of wealth. Value multiplied by scale. Now we arrive at the actual mathematical foundation of wealth creation. And a spoiler alert, it has absolutely nothing to do with hoping for compound interest in a 401k over 40 agonizing years.
This is the law of affection. It proves that true wealth comes from drastically increasing your impact. As MJ DeMarco puts it, the more lives you affect in an entity you control, in scale or magnitude, the richer you will become. Let's break that math down so it really sticks.
Your net profit is ultimately just units sold, which is your scale, multiplied by your unit profit, which is your magnitude. If you want millions, you need to impact millions, or impact a select few with a very high-value solution.
The absolute quickest way to grasp this concept is the 1 million rule. Make 1 million people feel better, solve their problem, or educate them, and you will be rich. Whether you entertain them, give them security, or make daily tasks easier for them, if you can affect 1 million people, you are going to generate massive wealth. The math is beautifully simple, right? But the execution is where the real challenge lies.
To put this into perspective, capped hourly wages just completely pale in comparison to scaling up units sold or maximizing unit profit. A traditional job strictly limits you because, like we said earlier, you can only physically work so many hours. But if you have scale, maybe you sell a $10 ebook to 1 million people. Boom, $10 million. Or if you use magnitude, you sell a highly specialized $100,000 service to just 10 massive businesses. Boom, $1 million. Either way, you are finally breaking the chains of time.
All right, Section 4, the execution roadmap, the sense framework. So how do we actually execute this in the real world? How do you know if your business idea is actually a fast lane opportunity or just another dead end?
Enter the sense framework: control, entry, need, time, and scale. These are the 5 exact commandments you must use to mercilessly evaluate whether your business idea belongs in the fast lane or if it's just a glorified, highly stressful job. Let's break down each of these crucial commandments one by one.
First up is control, meaning you offer the affiliate program or employment rather than being at the mercy of someone else's company. If you're just a hitchhiker, say driving for a rideshare app, relying solely on an unpredictable algorithm, or building your entire business on someone else's platform, someone else is driving the car. And trust me, they can shut down your income stream in a single day. You must own and control the entity.
Second is entry. This commandment basically dictates that high barriers and complex processes protect your margins from massive competition. Think about it. If anyone can start your exact business in 5 minutes with $20 while sitting in their pajamas, that is a very weak road. True business entry is a detailed process, not a one-click event. If it's hard to do, that difficulty is actually your greatest asset. It keeps the imitators out. Third is need. This reminds us again that businesses only survive and generate wealth if they address the selfishness of others. Tying directly back to our producer mindset we talked about, you must give first and take second. If your shiny new business doesn't solve a legitimate problem or satisfy a real human need, it simply will not survive, let alone make you millions. The market is ruthless. It demands value. Fourth is time. This is where you build autonomous systems, like software, real estate, or evergreen content, that survive and earn money even when you're completely offline. Ask yourself this: if you went camping without a phone signal for an entire month, would your business still generate income? If the answer is no, well, your business violates the commandment of time, and you've essentially just created another job for yourself.
And finally, scale. Because if you're limited to a local neighborhood, your wealth ceiling is permanently capped. A single corner coffee shop has a limited habitat, right? There are only so many people in a 3-mile radius. But a global distribution system, or a software product on the internet, that has a massive habitat. To hit that 1 million rule we talked about earlier, you absolutely need to be able to reach millions of potential customers.
Okay, Section 5, from idea to execution. As we wrap up this explainer, we really need to talk about the absolute final hurdle between you and true financial freedom, because it's the one thing that stops almost everyone dead in their tracks. The owner of an idea is not he who imagines it, but he who executes it. Ideas themselves are completely worthless events without the rigorous, disciplined process of actual execution. People protect their million-dollar ideas like they're pure gold, completely oblivious to the fact that hundreds of other people probably have the exact same idea right now. A business plan is useless until it is married to action. Execution is where the real heavy lifting happens. So, I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to consider right now as you rethink your path. What problem are you going to solve for someone today? If money is just a reflection of the value you provide to others, whose pain points are you addressing? It is time to break free from being just a consumer, switch teams, and start building. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Now get out of the slow lane, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching Billionaire Blueprint. For more exciting videos, please subscribe to the channel and keep watching.